Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's get this party started this afternoon. Let's get this party started. Yes, let's get the party started. Hey, listen, when I decided to do this video, I figured I would start in the beginning stages of someone looking for a car, someone looking to buy a car with bad credit. We all get in a time in our life where we we have some things happen to us, and that good things, bad things happen to good people. Let me say it again. Bad things happen to good people. Yes, it does. It happens to the best of us. But what do we do to get out that situation? And when I thought about doing this video, I said, I just need to give people just a few pointers, a few tips, because you could do this. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. You could do this before you buy a car. I want to call it pre-planning, saving time. Just because you have bad credit and you having problems buying a car doesn't mean that you can't pre-plan. You can't plan ahead. You know how you go to the doctor, you just don't go to the doctor. You just don't show up to the doctor's office and say, hey, I need you to look at my leg. I need you to look at my foot. Or I need some help. What do? You make an appointment. So I'm going to walk you through the process, what you need to do before you go to the dealership. And then the question that you need to ask, again, when you have bad credit. So you know that you have bad credit. You have some issues. You know that maybe you filed bankruptcy and your bankruptcy discharge, maybe, and it's a 7, or maybe you're in a 13, or maybe you just had a repo yesterday, or maybe you just had a repo an hour ago, right? Or let me just say this, or you never bought a car before, but you have not paid your bills on time, and you're trying to figure out how to pay your bills on time. But the one thing what you want to do is, what people do is that they don't call around to find out what dealerships that can help them. What dealerships can help them? So you want to call your local dealership, or a dealership that specializes in people with bad credit. That's what they do every day, and don't get what do you call it? Don't get where you think that these big dealerships, franchises, cannot help you. That means that you think that you need to go to a B lot, or you think you need to go to a small lot, and the bigger lots or the franchises can help you get into the car that you want, the car of your dreams, or the car that you want at that particular time because of your credit. So the first thing what you want to do is you want to call that dealership and you say, you know what, do you deal with people that have bad credit? Do you deal with people that, have had repossessions or filed bankruptcy? Do you deal with that? And they'll either say yes or no. And if they say yes, and you're not really sure, or you're not really thinking that they really don't know what they're talking about, then what you want to do is you want to talk to, let's say, a finance manager. Hey, can I speak to your finance manager? Of course, they may say, well, why do you want to speak to the finance manager? Well, I just got a couple questions. Or they might even transfer you to a salesperson. But you want to find out, what do they specialize in? Are they committed to helping you? Because if you go to a dealership and that's not what they specialize in, or they don't have the banks, then you're going to be wasting your time. Your credit's going to be pulled. Your time is going to be spent for nothing. So first, one step is you want to make sure that's what that dealership does. Don't judge and don't think that's not what they do. So find out what they specialize in. They might specialize people got good credit, but then also, just like I said, make sure that they specialize people that got bad credit. Next thing what you want to do is you want to find that right salesperson, right? When I say find that right salesperson, you can, when you make that call to the dealership, you can say, do you have someone that actually, that's what they specialize? Do they specialize with customers that have bad credit? Do you have anybody? Like myself, that's what I specialize in. 80-90% of my customers have bad credit. I have customers that have good credit, but majority of them have bad credit. And when you specialize in something, you specialize in a certain field or a niche. That's what you do. You live and breathe it, and you look at ways to get deals done, or you look at ways to make things happen. For instance, if you looking to trade in a car, well, let me just say this: you looking to buy a car, and you have a car, but it's in somebody else's name, and you don't got the title for it. And you're like, well, I can't even trade in. It's not even in my name. Well, yes, you can, because that person that looks at different ways of getting the deal done, they're going to say, you know what? What are you driving? Okay, you're driving. Is the car in your name? And you say no. Then they're going to tell you, okay, well, where's the title? Get the person that actually gave you the car, sign off on the title, and then come in with the car, and then you trade that car in. Or, sometimes we have ways where, that dealership might help you out with down payment. You might need $1,000 down and your car might be worth 500. Well, can y'all help me out with the other 500? Can y'all help me out with the down payment? But if you don't have that salesperson or that dealership, for one, that dealership first, and then that salesperson to walk you through that process to say, well, you know what? You ain't working with all your down payment money. Let me see what I can do for you. It's not like, no, it's not like giving you money to buy a car. It's just moving some money over there to show that your money down that you need. Know this too, is that you should get pre-approved before you go in a dealership, especially if you have bad credit. And I'm saying this is because you're going to save the time that you're going to be in the dealership. Myself, majority of my customers come in, they already know they're approved. Now they may not know what kind of car they're going to get, right? But they're already approved, because that saves time. That saves time, and you've been in a dealership for 3 or 4 hours. Honestly, I don't want you in the dealership 3 or 4 hours, but sometimes it does take that long. And the reason it takes that long, because we have to go through certain steps in order to get your insurance and get some other things actually that you need, right? Well, I'm going to say, we talk about down payment, we talk about insurance, but the thing is, with insurance, I have insurance people that I deal with. So the thing about how do you connect with the right dealership? How do you connect with the right salesperson? It's all about connection. And what's the niche? If that's the niche, then if that's the person's niche, you're going to get more from them. And then two is, it's all about now is people, we always want to be rewarded for something. If you buy a car from me and you buy a used car, man, I pay a $200 referral fee. If you buy a new car from me, I pay a $100 referral fee, but you get it within 30 days. And the reason I do this is because I want to thank that individual customer for looking out for me, for sending me business. But I gave you some tips today, exactly two tips actually, what you need to do when you are going to look for a car. Actually, 3 tips I gave you. If you have bad credit, you're looking to go buy a car. 1, you find the right dealership, right? And then you call that dealership. You ask them what banks do they deal with. I'm going to give you an example of some banks that are subprime or special finance, what we call it. These are some banks that you can call that dealership and you can say, you know what banks do you use? And if they say, oh, I don't know, then you're talking to the wrong person. So Exeter, that's a special finance bank. That's a subprime bank. And they can do deals in any part of the United States, not just in Michigan, anywhere. So you got Exeter Finance. You have Santander. That's with an S, Santander. And then you have Capital One. Now, Capital One Finance also have credit cards. So Capital One Finance, they do auto loans, but they do credit cards too. So these are 3 banks that I gave you. Actually, I'm going to give you another one, and credit acceptance. So I gave you 4 banks. I gave you Exeter Finance. I gave you Santander. I gave you Capital One. And then I gave you credit acceptance. These are 4 special finance banks. So if you call and looking for that bank, you're looking for that right dealership. I'm in Michigan, but no matter where you call in the world and you're looking for a car and you got bad credit, ask them, do they have one of those banks? Because if we have one of their banks, they have somebody there. They have somebody there that knows what they're doing at the dealership to be able to get the deal done for you. So think about those 4 banks. Pen, paper, get it ready, because that's 4 banks. 4 banks that will help. One of those banks should be able to get you done. And if they don't have one of those 4 banks, then you might be talking to the wrong dealership. All right. I hope that helps.